Ambition should be made of sterner stuff. Yet Brutus says he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honorable man.
So, I never thought I'd need to make a video like this, but here we are. As the video title says, YouTube demonetized me recently. Well, like last week, but I wrote this script last week while I was house sitting for my cousin, so I couldn't make a video about it then, and that's when I saw it when looking at YouTube Studio. The reason for demonetizing my channel given by YouTube is that I reused content, not necessarily in the breaching copyright sense, but in a similar way, but in that I did not transform the content enough to make it transformative. Kind of like how in copyright law, or how copyright works, where you can technically make an entire movie and just put voice commentary over it as critique or making fun of the movie, and technically that's transformative enough to allow the entire movie to be shown online, including YouTube, without issue, for free. Mystery Science Theater is a fantastic example of that practice, even though they tend to use older movies that aren't covered by copyright. As you can see, it's not a copyright issue. You know, I've gotten no notices for my last several videos. I've gotten like no copyright notices, no notices about it being blocked or having issues having income from having like copyrighted material in it. Of course, some of my older videos, like I used to make music suites of soundtracks from video games and movies a lot, but I've privated a lot of them because I don't think that's like the main reason like people watch my channel, and because I'm trying to prevent copyright issues for my channel going forward, now that I've kind of settled into a different format that is actually somewhat successful going forward. So I don't think this is like me breaking copyright law is the issue. I think it's YouTube thinking that I'm like uploading other people's YouTube videos onto my channel as my own videos or something. And it's, you know, that technically isn't breaking copyright law because YouTube videos, like I guess you could go to court for defending that, but I think most YouTubers aren't like, they don't have enough money to like ever do that. So that doesn't really like usually happen. So I think it's like YouTube is falsely detecting that I'm like using other people's content and that I'm not being original at all. I'm not transforming that content in any way. And of course, YouTube copyright detection and not using content detection and prevention is far more draconian existing law because YouTube is desperate to, you know, bow down to advertisers and big companies to show their ads in their site. You know, it's the main way they make their money. So I guess it's somewhat understandable. So I'm just frustrated. How many AI channels are there on YouTube that never get taken down or demonetized, making thousands or even millions of views and dollars off of stolen YouTube videos recreated with AI slop? And it's especially offensive to me as an artist when YouTube comes in and tells me that my work isn't transformative enough to differentiate myself from existing content. Like, I make custom art assets for my videos, like the thumbnail for the Realism is Stupid video, which is called something else now, but that is a digital painting that took me a week to paint. Here's the creative file. To get that like painterly look, most of it was done on a single layer. Took fucking forever to make. I think it turned out really well though. So I can just go in, yep, look, it's all editable. It's all right there. Before the video was out, this image literally did not exist at all. This was a custom made thing, undefined orb original. But, you know, apparently I'm reusing content. And the thumbnail for my other recent videos, everything after Mythic Dev Talk 1, I made them all in Blender. You won't find those pictures anywhere else. Well, you probably will now that they are on the internet and anyone can download them and share them. But the point is that before I made those videos, those thumbnails and paintings did not exist on the internet at all. Even my old D&D actual play videos I posted years ago are filled to the brim with custom art and snapshots from Tailspire scenes I made. Tailspire is a tool to make D&D maps for combat and stuff. There is no like preloaded maps. I did use some maps from Tailspire Tavern, just as like pre-made things to use. Half of it was custom maps, the other half was like pre-made ones I found from Tailspire Tavern. But it's still like, you know, my players still played combat on those maps. The art assets in those videos are still completely original. Like all those symbols I have on screen all the time, I custom made those, I custom animated those. But my channel did go through a dark time a couple years ago, back when AI stuff was first becoming big and actually like useful, I guess you could say. I mean, I don't think AI is useful anymore, but you know, back then, before I think everybody really understood how bad AI was in like 2023, 2024, that was when Midjourney and 11 Labs came out. And there were a bunch of meme posts on YouTube of 11 Labs like stealing people's voices and making funny memes out of them.
Shit.
Are you okay?
my AirPods.
Are you for fucking real right now?
Don't shout at me.
Which has very scary implications. You know, now that we're not making memes about it and now we can really think about it, it's a very scary thing to have. But I used AI. I made AI thumbnails and I made 2 videos that had AI voice acting in it. That was a bad time of my channel's existence and I regret using AI. I've since changed those video thumbnails to be one of my original pieces of art, original pieces of graphic design, which is something I was meaning to do for a long time, but I just never got around to it, and I really do have to wonder if that contributed to my channel being demonetized for quote-unquote reusing content. I don't know, maybe YouTube's AI could like really easily detect that those thumbnails were made with AI. I don't know, but I'm ashamed that I used AI back then, and I have changed it all since. This finally like gave me the kick in the ass to actually change it and take action to get rid of those. I also privated the recap videos. Yeah, as you can see, the AI voiceover, AI voice acting videos I've also privated because they're AI, and you know, the actual contents of the video other than the voice acting is all custom stuff. Like I custom made that map, I custom set all this up, and I know it's kind of cringe these days. This is kind of a cringe video, but you know, other than the voice acting, it was all original content. So, but apparently I'm reusing content, even though this is my original homebrew campaign that was bad. Sure, the homebrew campaign wasn't very good, but I made it myself. So you can't claim that all of my actual play is just reused content. Look at these thumbnails, like those are custom drawings. I drew this by hand. This is before I started using digital painting. This is all hand-drawn art. Not this stuff, this is all graphic design. But and my more recent videos, like this Helldivers video and this Helldivers video, those aren't original thumbnails, but the actual, like, you know, let me just open one. The actual graphic design title art, I made that custom in Inkscape. That doesn't exist anywhere else on the internet, or at least not before this video came out. So that's all original. This entire scene was made in Blender, so I set it up to make it look like the Helldivers promotional art for this war bond. It was still custom made, and as you can see, like this, my Dark Souls video, this is I think I used a picture. I think I traced a picture for this, but it's still like a pretty original thumbnail. The the mogging my face off in the mog off during the Battle of Mog, the like a meme Helldivers video I made. If anybody's watching this video that is or used to be in the Helldivers community at all, my posts were never that big. They never got that much attention, but I'm the guy that made the high effort mogging Helldiver meme. I made the original one. I painted it in Krita. I can show it to you. As you can see, here's the file. This is the CF. I did it all in one file, apparently. That was kind of dumb of me. But yeah, here's the original mogging Helldiver painting. First thing I ever painted that didn't look like total shit. Still kind of looks like shit, but whatever. But yeah, as you can see, I've custom made all these pieces of art. Robot, the bugs, This video reused some content by Endo, which made this really cool Helldivers Halo animation. But, you know, I credited him in the video. I credited him, and that's like the only reused content I use. In the ODST one, I used some reused footage from the Halo Recon trailer, which is for a video game, so it shouldn't be a big deal. You know, you usually don't run into these kind of issues for content about video games. I mean, they're just like lame ass montages. But, you know, I don't think you can claim that those are reused content, because despite it being a video game, the actions I took in that video game are all unique. The editing was unique. The music choice was unique. You know, the music and the footage from the Halo trailer are not unique. They're from something that pre-existed, but they're used in a way that clearly is unique. And, you know, for the Daggerheart video, that was a custom made, like, super low effort thumbnail. I did not care. I fucking hated working on that video towards the end. But clearly original. Like, it's just, you know, members of Critical Role making dumb faces, some Daggerheart art behind them. Like, that's not, couldn't find that on the internet before I made it. And then you have my 4 recent videos that are just like, these are all like custom made, custom content And you know, the realism is stupid one, that one's like about a more general topic. So you can make a stronger claim, I guess, that it's quote unquote reusing content, but I don't think it is. You know, it uses some footage from a lot of stuff, really. It has the entire like Gabe Newell interview where he talked about realism that everybody used. Like I fucking made a video about realism, then all of a sudden everybody's copying Gabe Newell's fucking clip. I use like 30 seconds or something from Alien 4. Yeah, it's like less than 30 seconds, but even still, it's like I'm not using any audio from it. And then I made this gag from The Martian of him like flipping around a bunch, him just flying around. So it's like, yeah, I'm using content from like movies and video games and shows, but I'm not just flat out like showing the clip in its entirety without audio or anything. Like I'm talking constantly throughout these videos. I think my videos are very dense in what I cover. There is no like downtime in my videos. I'm constantly talking. And to make things worse for YouTube's reasoning for demonetizing me is that in my more recent videos, I have been including custom-made Blender animations that take me anywhere from 1 to 3 weeks to make for the entire video. I know they're not the highest quality of animation ever, but they're something. You know, they got people to actually pay attention to my channel, so keep making them, even though they take fucking forever to make. But apparently I'm reusing content, even though I'm making custom animations that no one's ever seen before. Oh, but it's all reused content, you know? I mean, my most recent video on my channel is admittedly an ad that was 100% animated in Blender for my book that took me 4 years to write. You know, it's a video with custom animations in it talking about something that I personally created. You're not going to find that anywhere else on YouTube. Like, I'm sorry, but this is just dumb. But apparently I'm reusing content. Marking my channel of all channels as reusing content without transformation is just the most inaccurate thing YouTube could have ever done. And on top of all that, the main thing my videos have been about recently have been about Mythic at Any Cost, a TTRPG I'm developing by myself with no support of any kind, for better and worse. You know, what's more original than making a YouTube video about something that doesn't exist yet? You know, just like my book, it didn't exist before I made it. Mythic, I'm solo developing it. Nobody else is working on this. There is no way that somebody could have worked on this before me. Unless they're like confusing Mythic at Any Cost with Halo Mythic, like a lot of people are doing. But like, I doubt random people at YouTube know what either of these games are. Like, I doubt they would give a fuck. And I know AI did all this. I know they're like AI bots just looked at my channel and was like, oh, this is probably AI, and demonetized me. Like, the AI doesn't know the difference between Halo Mythic and Mythic at Any Cost. Like, it probably just thinks I'm AI. You know, I like to shit on my own work and be realistic about it, in that most of it is just okay in quality. But I've kind of had to force myself over the years, and especially recently, to finally realize that my work, for most things, is well above average quality. My videos, despite how few views they get, are by far and away higher quality than most YouTubers make. Like Moist Critical. I'm using him as an example because he seems like a pretty chill guy. I probably won't be mad that I said this about his content. Like, I'm pretty sure he's self-aware about his content in this way. But his videos get millions of views, and literally all he does is learn about a drama, turn his camera on, use his admittedly very good public speaking skills to talk about the drama in one take, then upload it to YouTube. They're some of the lowest effort content on the platform. What I assume what happened is that YouTube's shitty copyright detection or AI detection, AI or bots, once again proving that AI is dog shit, noticed that I was using clips from movies and TV shows in my videos as examples for what I was talking about in the video, or it noticed that I was using AI in my thumbnails and some voice acting in 2 videos. But you know, I rarely actually use the audio in those clips from TV shows and movies to help prevent this from happening. But it seems like the AI doesn't care and still saw it as me just lazily reposting content from other videos or from TV shows or movies or something. My channel isn't unique for doing this. Plenty of other channels that review and critique movies and shows and video games use clips from those pieces of media to give the viewers visual examples of what they're talking about. This isn't some new thing. Like, in the notice YouTube gives me about my content being allegedly reused, it doesn't tell me what content YouTube is using to make this claim against me. It just tells me that I'm reusing content and how to properly reuse content, which I already followed, because I understand basic copyright law, which I find very condescending. So in the process to possibly get my demonetization reversed, the first option is to delete the content that is being seen by YouTube as reused and then get reevaluated. I'm an introvert and I hate confrontation, so I would totally prefer just to delete whatever video or videos that are causing this to happen and get remonetized again. The problem being, like I said before, YouTube doesn't tell me what content is being flagged for being reused content, so that isn't an option for me. The second option for me to deal with this is to appeal by sending a video. The video must be sent to YouTube within 7 days of getting the original notice, which at the time of writing this script cannot be done since I am not at home because I am house sitting and dog sitting for my cousin. So my channel is pretty much guaranteed to get fully and officially demonetized. And after writing that script, that has come to pass, unscripted continuation, and the edit your channel and reapply section has changed to now have different requirements. It now says that review our feedback, then make changes to your channel. Changes can include editing or deleting videos and uploading video details. You can reapply starting September 22nd, 2026, as long as your channel meets the following requirements. Right now it is June 30th, about to be July. So YouTube is telling me I can't reapply for 3 months. And not only do I have to wait 3 months to reapply, and it's also giving me these like crazy quotas. Like, I am a tiny channel. I don't even have like 2K subscribers. Like, and they're demanding me to get 4,000 valid public watch hours or 10 million valid public shorts views before that happens, or I need that to be eligible to reapply, which is crazy. Like, my channel's not getting that kind of growth to get that anytime soon. That also just seems like a crazy like requirement to have just to reapply. Like, why do I need a certain number of views? Like, AI channels can very easily get tons of views. Like, why is this a requirement? Like an actual AI channel can do this relatively easily. But like for my channel, which I'm like struggling to like really get a big audience, like I don't have that option, you know? Originally, it then went on to say that I have 21 days to submit a video to get my channel remonetized. The video I must send to YouTube must be a video only, no description, less than 5 minutes long, unlisted. Unlisted probably so YouTube can avoid getting bad press for this stupid shit they're forcing upon me. Uploaded to the channel you're appealing, submitted from your account, narrated in a supported language. The video must include focusing on the channel as a whole, not just individual videos that meet our guidelines, and provide visual examples of how your content was created. Show how you've edited or filmed the content, and try to connect what you show in your video appeal to other content on your channel. You can show yourself in the video or provide a voiceover, show how your content is filmed, show how your content was edited. As you can probably tell, I did write a script for this video, but I've been going off of it a lot. And for this section of the video, it's going to be completely unscripted as I show you my video editing process or video creating process. First in my video creation process is writing the script. As you can probably tell, I don't do well when I don't have a script to follow. I meander, I go on tangents, I forget things I want to say, and so I prefer to write out what I want to say. So let's start with the Daggerheart video. This video was painful to write. It is 38 pages long of me going over my thoughts and opinions on Daggerheart as I read it in its entirety. I did not use AI for any of this. It's just a big long written out document. Like, I don't know what else to say about it. It's just a big written document. Dark Souls 1 video was even longer. you can tell because I even used the pageless layout. To be fair, I did use a little bit of AI in this video. I'm kind of ashamed of it. It was my first video essay that I ever wrote, and I was really struggling with formatting it, so I did go to AI and for ideas. Shameful that I did that, but I don't do that anymore. My videos are much shorter, much more focused now, and so it's easier to figure out the outline. And so let me just lower all these. It's a lot shorter than I remember it is. And of course there are subsections within the sections. It was a long video. Like it hurt that it didn't get any views, but I'm also like a nobody channel, so kind of makes sense that it didn't. Oh wow, it's only 20 pages long. It's actually shorter than my Daggerheart video. That's crazy. The Dark Souls video was a nightmare video to make and write about. I just like, I didn't even know what I was writing about half the time, but like, I feel like it really came together at the end. I think it still was a mess. I think even in its current form on YouTube, it's a bit of a mess. Like, here's a script for my Realism is Stupid video. Not that. 8 pages long, and it's just real simple, like way less complex than my previous scripts. Just me saying what I wanted to say in that video. The Dark Souls video was the only video I used AI in. Everything else has been completely written by me. I don't use it for editing or anything. I don't use AI for anything. It's all completely done by me. And then I'll show you the thing I've been working on most recently, the quest template, which but you know, you can see that I even write down in my script like what I want the animations to look like. Demon Souls intro, time freeze of intro, speech, and then, you know, I go through the steps of writing a story that, you know, is meant as a guideline for D&D, but you could use it to write an actual story. It's essentially just the 7-point plot structure. So yeah, I start with the script, and after that I record voiceover. So let me get DaVinci Resolve up. Let me give you a sneak peek of the quest template, the video that's coming out next. World premiere. But as you can see, this is my DaVinci Resolve file for the next coming up video. I can't show you the video files of the past several videos because I can't keep that many MP4 files on my computer at once without taking up a shitload of space. So, you know, I complete one project, then I upload it to YouTube, and then like a week after, you know, just in case I need to like re-edit something if copyright gets tripped or something, just as a contingency. After about a week, I just go in and delete all the like random video files of, you know, recording movies and TV show clips, and even clips from other people's YouTube videos. Again, it's like I'm not using the entirety of someone else's YouTube video in my video. I take like a clip from it. Like, you know, like in my Dark Souls video, I use clips from other people's YouTube videos. Like here, I'm using a clip from Amir's video that talks about how hyper armor and stuff works in Dark Souls 3. I recorded it in this way, so you can literally see Amir's channel in the bottom left. I'm literally crediting him in the video. And so, you know, yes, I do take clips from other people's YouTube videos, but like it's a couple of seconds. If it's longer than a couple of seconds, then I don't use the audio for the entire clip. So even for like copyright reasons, it shouldn't trip anything. But I record voiceover, and then after that, I edit the voiceover. As you can see, this line, for those who don't edit videos, this line is the voiceover audio, and it's all snipped together to edit out me taking breaths, me making errors, me saying ums and ahs, and I'll just give you a fucking sneak peek. His backstory being that he grew up in the shitty part of town, and his family had little money. His dad worked as a professional man-at-arms for the kingdom, but was killed in a skirmish when Dingleberry was young. All he has left of his father is his blade. He has a heart of gold, but his situation prevents him from becoming the man he wants to be. So I record voiceover, then I edit it down to be much more like fast-paced and quick, and edit it together in a way that will do better at keeping people's attention. And then after that, I add clips. Finding clips from other YouTube videos, that's really easy. I go into YouTube and I, you know, make it full screen. And I record my screen with OBS. So here right now, with OBS, I'll just record the screen. Like what I'll probably do with this this Shakespeare clip. For this upcoming video, I'll just make a full screen and I'll record the screen. And getting the clips for the movies and TV shows I talk about in my videos, I look at a couple different places. I first go to YouTube to find a specific scene I'm looking for. If I can't find it there, then I will go to third-party websites and I will record my screen by streaming that show on a third-party website. Because if I go to the actual streaming service, they have stuff built into their website, so you can't take screenshots or record your screen to protect their content, which I get, but I gotta show something in my video when I'm talking about these shows. So it's like I gotta show something. I'm not gonna say which. I'm not gonna show you where to find them because that would be dumb. In the next video, I'm gonna be talking about The Legend of Vox Machina a lot, even though the recent season kind of sucked. I'm sure a lot of people will flame me for that in the comments, but yeah, I didn't really like the recent season. I'm using a lot of clips from Critical Role to talk about story beats, and I'm talking about Dimension 20, but then later on I talk about Avatar, which on Star Wars apparently. But you know, I try to get as many clips from I can from YouTube. If I can't find them all on YouTube, I go to third-party websites, record my screen, and get it that way. And then I'll just put it in my video, and as you can see, like in Avatar The Last Airbender, Team Avatar needs to defeat the Fire Lord by the time Sozin Comet returns, or else the Fire Nation will use their crazy amp from the comet and disintegrate any opposition that stands in their way. I'm not using audio from the show. Well, I'm about to. sounds sick as fuck. Star Wars episode. I tend not to use the audio from these clips, so that shouldn't be the issue. You know, if I unmute everything, there's nothing in an audio track for, so I'm keeping that muted. In Avatar: The Last Airbender, Team Avatar needs to defeat the Fire Lord by the time Sozin Comet returns, or else the Fire Nation will use their crazy amp from the comet and disintegrate any opposition that stands in their way. Star Wars episode. You know, I tend not to use the audio from the actual piece of media. I just put some background music and my voice talking over it. So it's like, and it's obviously like, looked at how chopped together this is. Like, obviously this is transformative. You know, I'm constantly like cutting around and showing stuff and things like that, you know. So like, obviously I'm not just lazily reusing content. Like, this is all like very edited together in a very like specific way that needs to be done for the sake of the video. So but apparently my content is just reused. There's nothing original about it. I'm being so annoying in this video. If needed, I'll make custom art assets. So in my videos, I'll make some graphic. I made a custom made quest template story wheel that I will be using throughout the video as like a visual aid for where we are in the quest wheel. Nobody's seen this particular story wheel before because I fucking made it for this fucking video. And that's true for past videos too. Like, look at this graphic. That's custom. I made that. That didn't exist before I made it. It's heavily inspired by Marathon because Marathon has like the exact same animation in their trailers, and that's where I copied it from. But like, I changed it to say Mythic instead, and it took me a really long time to make each individual fucking frame of that animation. That quick animation took me a day to make. It was ridiculous. I'm never doing that again. After all that, I go into Blender and make Blender animations. We make cool animations about things I'm talking about that I probably won't easily be able to find in an existing clip from an existing piece of media. In this particular one, this is a clip that's going to appear in my next video. And as you can see, I have to do a lot of custom shit in here to get Blender to do what I want it to do. God, this runs like shit, dude. Oh my God. Where else are you going to find this? Where else are you going to find this on the internet? How is this not original content? So for this particular video, I am ripping assets from Baldur's Gate 3 or using whatever assets I can find online. So what I can find online plus what I can rip from the actual game using the Modder's Toolkit. This is what it will look like when it's done rendering. Where else do you find this on the internet? Like, nobody's animated the Slayer from Baldur's Gate 3 and some default knight from Baldur's Gate 3 doing this particular action before. Like, you literally can't find this on the internet before I've made it. Here's the opening one where he's just like walking forward. And there's supposed to be enemies here. I can turn those on. Enemies. This scene looks like shit right now. I need to change it. It all looks like shit. I don't know what I need to do to make it look better. I need to do something to make it look better. But stab. That's a cool scene. Let's render that. Oh, you can't even see much. But, you know, this is what it will probably look similar to once it's done. And I am like trying to like remake the Demon Souls intro using these assets because I don't know, I just thought it'd be cool. But, you know, of course, this is all custom made. Like, using these assets to do this in particular has never been seen on YouTube before. I can say with a high degree of confidence that you cannot find this anywhere else on YouTube yet because I haven't made it and nobody else has made it yet. Like, if I go onto YouTube and type in Demon Souls intro remade with BG3 assets. Oh, you go onto YouTube and oh, look at that. There's nothing. It doesn't exist yet. Oh, but I'm reusing content. Can't you tell? All my content's reused. Other people have made it first, even though you can look it up on YouTube and it literally doesn't exist yet. So here is a random part of one of the animations. There's probably like one of the things in the ending. Man, some of these look like shit. Fuck me. So yeah, this is like the ending of the Realism is Stupid video. I can turn on the bones. Here are the bones. I can activate the skeleton, select everything. You see down here, here's all the keyframes. This is all my animations are keyframed. but you know, this is all custom shit I made. You know, the assets themselves, like this map, this ODST model, these aren't custom made assets. These are things I found online that I'm using to make these animations. But the actual animation itself, using all these things in combination and me actually animating it, using my voice in it, I think is very transformative. Like, where else are you going to find this animation on YouTube? Nowhere. Oh, but I'm reusing content, right? And then if needed, I'll re-record audio. You can see in my process, I will listen to it all and I will highlight sections that I feel like I need to re-record for the sake of clarity sections to sound better. I'll highlight it in orange and then go back in and re-record it later. And then there's one more step I do. Let me show you an older video. So as you can see, like I said before, I delete a lot of the video files after I'm done using them, so they're not here anymore. What I do in my videos is I also use B-roll that is footage from my old D&D campaign from the actual play that is still up on my channel. If you want to watch, it's pretty bad, but if you want to watch it, well, some of it is from my play tests, which I record because I don't want to take notes during sessions. Footage of me and my players playing my game with my custom made, you know, as you can see, it's Tailspire. These are all a lot of the maps in Tailspire I use are made by me. They're custom made. And so even the B-roll is not reused content. Like, I don't know why it's claiming that. Like, this was a combat that occurred in one of my playtests, and I just use combats like this as my background because why not? I got a lot of recorded D&D on my external hard drive that's not really doing anything, so I might as well use it as B-roll, I guess. But that's my video making process. But yeah, here's a sneak peek of the animations, the music. Looks kind of like shit right now, but I'll figure it out. Or just release it looking like shit. Like who cares? That's another thing I've been having to kind of like deal with as I've been making YouTube videos. It's like, I just have to be okay with things just looking like shit sometimes. You know, sometimes you just gotta swing, and sometimes you're gonna miss, and that's okay. I don't know how you can look at this and be like, oh yeah, it's just reuse content. Like, this guy just stole it from another channel. You know, the only things I could like really think of that YouTube is using as justification for calling me, you know, just reusing content is my music suites that I used to make. Like, my highest viewed video ever is the Kelvin medley, which is just like the soundtrack of New Trek, just compiled together, just my favorite bits and pieces compiled together into like one continuous track. So if you listen to a soundtrack normally, it constantly like stops when one song ends and then starts again when another song starts, and that's kind of like ruins the flow. So I made these suites to kind of eliminate that and also eliminate parts in music that I personally don't like. You know, if the suites are the issue, then I'm fine with making them private and just getting rid of them. Those are the only things I can think of that can really be, with some level of confidence, be looked at and just say this is reused content. Because for the most part, they are just the original soundtracks, but they are like chopped up and reorganized in a way and edited in a way that each song flows into each other really smoothly. And so I also have like a lot of old videos on here that I just don't want anyone to see because they're kind of cringe and stupid. So you might be wondering, why make this video public instead of doing what YouTube tells me to do to get remonetized? Well, not even remonetized, but to get the chance to possibly get remonetized. Well, I've heard enough about small channel horror stories about randomly or suddenly getting demonetized or deleted outright for no good reason, or a very shallow one. YouTube is a megacorp, owned by a megacorp, that is Google. They don't give a fuck about me or anyone else using their site. They just want people to see advertisements so they get advertiser money. Why do you think the entire site is clogged up with ads? Even if I did everything they asked me, I have no faith in YouTube or Google to remonetize my channel. And this all sucks because I've been struggling to find work for a while now. Well, like real work for a person with a college degree, and any income, no matter how small, would have been really nice. Even if I never got that big on YouTube and only ever made like $100 a month or every other month or whatever, which is the minimum amount of money you need to make on YouTube to actually have YouTube send you money each month, that still would have gone a long way in my current situation. I'm not destitute or anything, I just haven't had a decent income in a bit, along with my YouTube videos taking a ton of work to make. Making some money off of them would have been pretty nice. You know, getting paid for a service. Crazy idea. What does this all mean for my channel? Well, I don't plan on stopping making videos, but I might slow down a bit, or reduce the scope, or not, I don't know. I mean, after the next video I'm making, which the scope has gotten completely out of control, and it's probably going to take forever to make anyways, I planned on reducing scope anyways, but I might reduce it even more than I was originally intending to, because I'm not really getting any money out of it. Sorry to be like, I don't mean to sound greedy or money hungry or anything, but like, these videos are really hard to make, and it would be nice to get some money out of them. But being demonetized doesn't stop me from uploading videos. The truth is, most of my videos on this channel, since I posted that first Mythic video, are ads. It's not a secret, I talked about it in my other videos, that I'm making them so that I can gain an audience, so when the day comes for public testing of my game, or creating a Kickstarter, or just selling Mythic at any cost, some people might actually know about it and might buy a copy. So overall, the situation is just really frustrating, more than anything. And from seeing other YouTubers suffer from bullshit like this, I know that the only way to get YouTube's or Google's attention is to make a big public stink about it, usually on Twitter, but I don't have a following on Twitter, so that's not an option for me. But yeah, thanks Google and YouTube for making the next actual video take longer to come out, since I wanted to make this quick one. Also, as a big fuck you to YouTube, all the footage in this video have been animations from my previous videos that I spent weeks making myself, specifically for my channel. I don't usually say this, but like, comment, and subscribe to force YouTube to pay attention through big views. Or don't, it doesn't do anything for me now anyways. So, see you in the next one.